Hey guys and gals, Never here from Dragwing Gaming, and some of you on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Minotaur Hotel. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alrighty. He approaches, arms sticking straight down at his sides, as if he didn't know what to do with them. Perhaps he expected more aplomb, more ritual. To be handed the bottle like this, as a friend would deliver a parcel, makes his movement tentative. Asterion extends his hands and gingerly takes it. His grip is so gentle that the surface of the bottle glides over his hand. Just a moment of distraction would be enough to make it slip. His thumb brushes some tarnish from the neck as he watches the sediment shift with every movement. He aligns it with the lamp and looks through the glass as if it was a wide, dark sea. His eyebrows are pursed, his gaze implacable. His tail droops straight down and goes immobile. He stands like a statue when he should be jumping for joy. Is this the real deal? Is it not the right wine? So help me God, if that snake screwed with us like this. No, this is it. It's just... The Minotaur's ears flick as he trails off into his thoughts. He uncorks the bottle with delicate care and raises it to his nose. He inhales, then his shoulders collapse as he sets it on the table. Argos did not lie. However, excuse me, master. Perhaps I rose too quickly. I need to sit down. He looks from you to the bottle. To the window, to the lyre, back to the bottle. His eyes are wide open. His nostrils flare with each short breath. He tries to look back to you, but something has changed. His eyes look dulled, as if he is lost in thought. What can I do to repay that? What can I do to repay this? His kindness will cease if I do not repay him. How could he go so far out of his way to undertake this? It cannot possibly mean anything but to further some kind of use. What am I getting into here? There must be a catch. There always is. Just like what happened with Tithonus. One can't liberate another without taking shackles of their own. So why would he do this? What does he want from me? I am indebted now. Beyond being a slave, I now have yet another leash on my neck. It would have been better had he never gone through the trouble. Why even bulk and chatter in your head like this? It doesn't matter what you think. He gave you something, so you need to take it. Stop dawdling. Don't tense up. It is the polite thing to do. He gave you something, so take it. For nearly a minute now, the Minotaur has been silent, unmoving except for twitching ears and furrowing brows. Asterion? Are you there? There's nothing wrong. He stands while speaking, but stops. He takes another step forward, but does not meet your eyes. I apologize for speaking over you, master, but... Thank you. He raises his arms halfway to his chest. It is not quite a shrug. Oh! Aranciata Rosa, San Pellegrino. I love me some of the Italian sparkling water. Thank you, just... Hey, listen. It's fine, okay? You seem to be a little overwhelmed today, I understand that. I was just talking with Argos after all, and I know that can get to you. This has been such a busy week, aside from the entire valley situation, so don't worry, okay? Everything's fine. Now, how about you have a drink? Let's go step by step. You want a glass? No, it's fine. I can drink from the bottle. Okay, so now have a drink. The Minotaur nods. He squares his shoulders and breathes out in what one can assume is relief. As you wish, sir. Thank you. He takes the bottle as he brings it to his mouth, and as he brings it to his mouth, he looks at you again to make sure it's okay. You make your own almost shrug in response, so he drinks. It begins with a paused gulp to appreciate the wine's flavor, to breathe in and out before getting to it. His nostrils flare in a snort as the wine, enjoyable as it may be, burns his throat. The Minotaur closes his eyes and throws his head back. His Adam's apple bobs with each mouthful, and the bottle bubbles as its contents are emptied around the imperfect seal of Asterion's lips. All the while, nothing happens. He remains exactly the same, an ear still without fur and an eye. The hotel shudders, the floor beneath you quakes, and you hear it again, the groaning sound of the obsidian at the bedrock rubbing against itself. It almost sounds like a faraway yell. The table groans as Asterion bangs the empty wine bottle against it. His tail flicks over the floor. His eyes are shut tight. His left eye is closed for the first time in a long time, and he seems to be concentrating on it. Whoa! Oh, wow. Huh. How do you feel? I feel fine. A tad tipsy. It is quite unsettling having two eyes again after so long, but in a good way. The Minotaur shakes himself like a dog would when trying to dry itself. His ears and tail flop around. I feel heavy. It's been so... maybe I should do it, make his voice heavier. I feel heavy. It's been so long since I've been like this. I hope this is how I used to look like, more or less. I hope you aren't... Nah, don't worry about a thing, Asterion. Everything's fine, and in fact, you look great. Oh, Thank you. But maybe we should get going? Don't you have the concert? By the 12! You look at the remains of the shirt you made for Asterion lying on the ground and torn to shreds. I'm very sorry, Master. This is why I prefer togas. My neck doesn't get along with tight collars. Well, don't worry about it. We can mend it later. Right now, you should be getting ready for your show. Yes, I should. His ears flick as if to shake off forgetfulness. The Minotaur moves to the room to straighten himself up, gather his lyre, and make sure of the tuning of the strings. As he gets involved with his lyre, you listen to him muttering. Here and there, you snatch a word or two. Got yourself lost in wine. Jesus, man. Big boy. Alceus said, and it's true. And annoy Alethea. Between the few words you comprehend, there are streaks of hums trying to hit the lyre's notes. When he gets back to being ready to leave, lyre in hand, his face contorts into surprise to see that you're still there. Ah, Master, I thought, Thank you, again. What were you saying back there, if you don't mind me asking? Anoi? It's, Alceus. In Noi Alethea. He sang a lot about drinking, that there is truth in wine. I mean, drinking helped me loosen up a bit, and I didn't know what to say, but it helped. Huh, I'm curious. Doesn't the hotel translate what people say? Shouldn't I have heard the translation? But I suppose that is a matter for another time. How about we go to the lounge together? Asterion tenses his jaw. He looks down to your feet as if lost in thought. Yes, Master. Very well. You and Asterion head out, side by side. The night's out. It's night out. The grand staircase is draped in darkness, but a glimpse towards the heavens reveals the twinkling stars, an immense foamy sea moving ever so slow. Murmurs and song crawl up from the ground floor. So, what do you have in mind for tonight? Just a few of the old songs I know. Nothing special. In fact, they may sound odd for modern sensibilities. They are, Asterion sighs and looks down to his lyre. He rubs his thumb over the side of it, back and forth, followed by a flick of his ears. There's a rhythm to it. His thumb is twice as fast as his steps downstairs. His ears flicker after every third step, and his tail swishes after every fifth. Then he almost tumbles. He's not yet used to his new center of gravity. He puts a hand on the guardrail and snorts. As soon as he takes his next step, he stumbles again. You reach out to hold his hand. Are you sure there's nothing wrong? I'm sorry, Master. I'm just a bit in my head. You attempt to let go of his hand, now larger and rougher than before, but his fingers curl around yours and resist, at least until he gingerly lets you go. He takes a breath and seems to concentrate. Oh god, that's so refreshing. You reach the ground floor and take the hallway to the lounge. The lights aren't lit yet, so you and Asterion walk in darkness once more. Further ahead, there is a slit of light flowing from the lounge's door, and beyond is the hallway that leads you to the kitchen where you found Asterion mere days ago. The guests' laughter and voices, Luke's boisterous shrieks, Coda's rumbling bass, and now your footsteps mix with the clopping of Asterion's hooves. His gait is larger than yours now, lumbering, slow movements, each step swaying like a pendulum from side to side. Still, the two of you find a common rhythm, 3 of yours for every second step of his. You're almost there now. You look to the Minotaur, he looks away, then back to you, and brings his gaze down to your feet. I'm sure you'll do fine, Asterion, but good luck. I'll get you a cup of water for when you go on stage. You turn to move away, but the Minotaur's hand catches yours. He pulls you close with a stiff jerk, then wraps you with his other arm. He squeezes you, but in an almost glacial, gentle way, mixed with the warmth of his skin and breath around you. Despite his newfound bulk, Asterion is soft, his fur like silk against your skin and spreading around you a gentle scent. No fragrance except for a distant note of warm fur and tanning skin. Excuse me? His hooves shuffle, not knowing where to step, but each movement is shy. They graze the floor instead of stomping it, afraid of so much as scraping your shoes. He lays his head on top of yours, with his muzzle in particular nuzzling against your hair. He grumbles something, and it takes a few tries for him to say it out loud. Thanks. Thank you. There's a warmth around you, but also tension. Asterion's movements remain jerky and stiff. Your own surprise passes over, however. You respond to his hug in kind. His tail jerks and swishes in response, then droops. A rumble escapes his throat as he squeezes midsection. The tension dissipates. His shoulders relax. His arms fit and mold around you. The weight of his head falls on yours. He breathes through your hair and nuzzles you. His pink nose is soft, even a bit wet. You squeeze him harder, but with the same glacial pace his own movements displayed. You're met with another grunt, although by now you can tell it's not one of complaint. Moo. The two of you remain very still as the voices further ahead celebrate and cheer their own victories, their brief nights of rest, or perhaps even a newfound home. Just out of sight, surrounded by light, they celebrate. And here in this velvety darkness, you and Asterion breathe each other's scents. When the time comes to say goodbye, the two of you relax your fingertips, then hands, and finally arms as bit by bit you disentangle yourselves. Just like that, it's over. And the only evidence left of this gesture, besides the sweet memory, is the Minotaur's quick and shallow breathing. He looks down to his clothes, now rumpled, and moves to tidy them before looking back to you, then to the lounge in his lyre. The moment for departure is at hand. It's time for his concert to start. He turns halfway, then swivels back to you, mouth agape and eyes seeking words. That stiffness returns by degrees to his movements. Oh god, why is that so good? He grumbles something, perhaps another thank you, although he seems to transition into another more complex phrase you couldn't quite catch. Thank you, I enjoyed that. You don't gotta be all flustered, it was nice of you. Again, thank you. Thank you, also. The growing agitation does not dissipate, but it does not increase either. So, feel free to hug me again if you wish. May I do the same to you? Well, yes, Master, that would be very pleasant. Thank you. Something shifts in his eyes. There was once a sharpness there, perhaps a measure of fear. It had wavered in and out like a flame resisting the wind ever since you released him from the cold room. But it's gone for now, and he sees you. Sometimes I look at you and it's like I'm seeing an old friend I knew back in Crete, like a little window into the past. Is that a good thing? Yes. Friends are a very precious thing, Alexios. Perhaps I want to believe. I was so confused today, but the wine must have loosened me, and now? I'm rambling, I know, forgive me. The Minotaur's ear flickers as the voices inside the lounge get rowdier. He budges as if turning back to the door, but his eyes don't want to leave you. The Minotaur takes another deep breath, with an almost identical, almost rehearsed movement. He grabs you close again in his arms, but more gentle, more deliberate. He holds you for a second, too short for you to even respond in kind before you know it. He lets you out of his brief embrace again. It doesn't quite meet your gaze. You, said I could hug you again if I wished, so... You laugh. I did say that, and I did mean it, so thank you again. Shall we go in? He nods again. He nods to you. He smiles to himself, and he nods again, to you. You take a step forward. Side by side, the two of you go in. Oh, 1 second now. Well, the stage should be set. Do you want to go get ready? Ah, yes, I should do that. The atmosphere in the lounge tonight feels festive and lively, a far cry from when you first came here. Luke is manning the bar, serving his usual menu while squawking, dancing, and thrusting to the beat of the music. Coda, more comfortable in the bar than the previous days, is sitting with the Middle Eastern students and having a passionate discussion about the differences between Arabic and Japanese prosody. Ismail and Greta are sitting at one of the tables far away. The former is glued to his phone, watching something, while the latter is pushing him to socialize. And to think just a week ago or so this place was dead and bloodstained. What an accomplishment. He turned to Asterion as he gets up on the stage. The Minotaur covers his eyes. The lights glare at him, carving a dull pain into the back of his head. He looks down to the steps leading up to the platform and goes step by step as he lumbers with the new weight of his body. 20 or so sets of eyes are fixed on him, on his bullish features, his horns, his newly healed self. It's been a while since he has been in the spotlight like this. Back when he was a child, old women would come and put flowers on his horns, dozens of ladies in succession, and he would cover his eyes in much the same way then. They would ask for his blessings, and men would plead he'd bless their crops until he became too much. He'd cry, and his father or wet nurse would pull him away and scold him for throwing a tantrum. He cradles the lyre against his chest. A string grazes his shirt, and he lets out a hum. It sends out a spark of confidence. He moves his arm away, pulls the stool, and sits down. He looks at the guests, each and every one of them in succession, then to you. Hey, hello, everyone. I think I should introduce myself first. My name is Asterion, and as you can see, I am not exactly, human. I work here at the hotel, and it's where I spend most of my life, in a way. He traces his thumb along the string again, letting it vibrate into the air, not quite plucking it. Until last week, this place was abandoned. It was just me here, and I'm glad to see people again. So many new faces. Alright, y'all, I'm going to pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our gold tier patron, Tresem Guy. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our not safe for work content as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye!